Hello, we're back with our new lesson, Unit 4, and this is Lesson 1, which will be on graphing linear equations. Now, this lesson starts our unit on linear equations. For the next several years of math career, you will be graphing very different types of equations. Some will look very different. It could be a straight line, it could be a curved line, it could be any type of line. So you could have lines like this, lines like this, all types of lines. The one that we concentrate on in 8th grade is called a linear equation. And those will be the ones with just straight lines. We're only going to be looking at straight lines. So once again, please have Unit 4, Lesson 1 paper in front of you. If you don't, you need to get one from the blue bin with your name, date, and period. So beginning with our very first task, video 1. So a linear equation is an equation whose graph is a line. Like I said, we're going to be focusing on straight lines. And equation for lines called linear equation. So here's a picture. You have a line, you have an equation, that is the linear equation. It's pretty much a name for the line. Now the points on the line, there's one here, there's one here. Technically, there's actually infinite number of points in between, that's what makes a line. All these line dots connected together creates a line. Now we're only focusing on the points that are exactly on the grid. And these points on the line are called solutions of the equations. These are the solutions. When you're solving an equation, these were what you were looking for. Now we'll get to that later, but just remember that the points are the solutions of the equations. So let's begin example 1. In example 1, which is on graphing a linear equation, this is the most basic way to graph a line. We're going to go through more advanced ways to graph a line as we go further into this unit. But anytime you have an equation like this, like we do here, which is y equals negative 2x plus 1. Whenever we have an equation like this, and you don't know how to graph it, we make what's called a table of values. Now this here is the table of values. This right here, we're going to have to plug in numbers. Also, this phrasing here, you might have seen this. This symbol are called inequalities. It's less than or equal to. And this is telling us that they want us to start at negative 2 and include all the x values that go through from negative 2 all the way up to 2. So we're going to start the table, and I'm going to fill in negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, because that's what it's telling us to do. They want us to plot from negative 2 to positive 2, and that's what it means. Now, I'm going to plug in these numbers into the equations, and I have to rewrite the equation as I have. So instead of x, here y equals negative 2 times, it's x, but instead of x, I'm going to put this x value, which is negative 2. I'll put that in a different color. It's negative 2, can't really see that very well. And then close the parentheses, then you have plus 1. Now, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, so 4 plus 1 will give you 5. At that point, the x value is negative 2 and the y value is positive 5. So your point order pair is negative 2, comma 5. Okay, I'll do one more. Negative 1 is the next x value. You see the x value is changing? So what if x is negative 1? Again, plug it into the equation. So we're going to rewrite it. Y equals negative 2 times x, but again, instead of x, this time x is negative 1, so we're going to put negative 1. That's how we plug in values, plus 1. Now, negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2, so 2 plus 1 is 3. And this gives us negative 1 comma 3. You can pause the video to finish them on your own and then come back to check your work. Otherwise, you can continue following along. And the next one, y equals negative 2 times x, but instead of x, this time x is 0, so it'll be plug in 0 here, and plus 1. 2 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So our next point is 0, comma 1. Then the next one is x equals 1, y is negative 2 times positive 1. Then you're going to put plus 1. Negative 2 times positive 1 is negative 2. So negative 2 plus 1. If I do it here, different signs. That's a negative, positive, so you subtract the number. And the larger one is negative, so negative 1, negative 1. And our point is 1, comma, negative 1. Then the next one, if x is 2, y equals, negative 2 times, the next x value was 2. Change the color again, plus 1. And negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, and negative 4 plus 1. You subtract the number, which is 3, and the larger number is a negative, so it's negative 3. And our point is 2, comma, negative 3. You see how we got that equation, and we don't know how to graph it. If you don't know how to graph it, just create a table of values and plug in some random x numbers. Now, for this problem, they told us what numbers to use, so that's why I did negative 2 to 2. Just plug in random numbers, make points, and you just plot them. So, when we are graphing, we need to make an x and y coordinate grid. And you see, not only do we have arrows, because if I put x here and y here, I have also have arrows on top of the tips of all my axes. And x and y's are labeled, which is very, very important to do because sometimes your graph could be rotated the other way. Meaning, if you have a paper and you rotate it, you're going to have x on the top and y on the side, which is not true. Y-axis should always be the vertical one. And that's why you want to make sure that you label them appropriately. So let's graph. So this is 0 in the middle. We know that all of these are positive, so let's graph. Let's number a few. This is 1, so positive 2. I'm going to number every 2 units, and 6. Now this is 1, 2, 4, 6. And then going to the left will be negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. And then down, this will be negative 2, negative 4, and negative 6. So the first point, negative 2, all the way up to 5, then negative 1, comma 3. Sorry, it's working well. 0, comma 1, 1, comma negative 1, and 2, comma negative 3. So I have these points plotted, and now I'm going to use a straight edge to graph it. I'll use my ruler to graph it. So if I connect all these dots, draw a line, there is my straight line. And I want to make sure that I have these arrows so that it is a line. Lines should have arrows on the other side, on both sides, to show that they're extending infinitely. And you always want to label your line. And your line equation is y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. That's what we had from the problem. You always want to label the equation from now on. And that's graphing the line. So this is the end of the first video of Unit 4, Lesson 2. You will be seeing me with example number 2 in the next video.